Welcome today for a new video about the CMDB Syncer. I know a lot of time has passed since the last one, but I can promise you a lot of good features are now part of the Syncer. It's not only enterprise ready, it's more comfortable to use, more logical to use, it's faster, it's multiprocessing, stuff like that. And some of these new features I just want to show you in this video. So let's take a look at first some new plugins. So first of all, there are some now new plugins. For example, BMC Remedy is there. Cisco DNA was there for longer. I Do It, Jira, JSON, LDAP, MS SQL, MySQL. Netbox is also old, but the ODBC plugin is also new. Basically enables you to connect to any database who supports ODBC, like FreeDDS, for example. And also on the command interface, some things happened. For example, with the Checkmk module to export the host. This works like this. We now have progress bars. And what you can't see here, because it's a small installation, there's multiprocessing for all stuff happens and not is related request to Checkmk. So it's much faster than before, and it's automatically scaling with all CPUs you have. But there is even more. I'm gonna delete one of the hosts here. And what I can do now is do the same, but as a try run. What's now happening is the system is checking what's to do, show me even the requests, but won't do anything. And we can go even a bit further. Next, what we can do is to save requests and enter a file. Let's see, temp out requests, for example. And now every request done is stored to this file. If I am opening that file, I can see the requests in there. And instead of doing it again with this command without try run, I could review this file, and then I can use a new feature here. It's called the request runner. Maybe this name will change at some point. So I say run request file, and I just enter the file name. And now the requests are sent to Checkmk finally, and the host is created. So function basically works with every other plugin. It's based on REST requests or on HTTP requests. But there is more. Sometimes you have problems, errors, exceptions. For that you can go to the local config and set the log level to debug. If we now, for example, run the export of hosts again, we can see every HTTP request which is done. And this of course works with all the other plugins too. Depending on what you do, there are more debug outputs or less debug outputs. It depends always, so just let it turn it off again. That's for the command line. Let's get to the web interface. There, for example, you have a cron shop feature. You can build groups, contain commands. And you can choose then when the plugin should run. And the second here you have the state table where you can see your groups, last run, next run, currently running, or if there was a failure. Also some handy new features regarding to Checkmk. First of all, the debug mode here is a little rocket. You can directly debug all options and functions. Before now, it was necessary to do that on the command line. Now it's full possible in the graphical user interface. Then if I go to modules Checkmk, there are new features. For example, you can set your downtimes based on your CMDB. So if you set a maintenance in your CMDB, you can sync it to Checkmk from here. You can, let's say, manage your users to automatically add, create, remove users. You can also manage your password store now. So you can set passwords inside that. Before you use this store, make sure that you set an encryption key in the config, because every passport you save there is also encrypted. The next feature is you have, for example, a full tag management. So basically you can set all kinds of tags in Checkmk, so to manage the tag groups. And not only that, if you export stuff to Checkmk, in the attributes, I'm just gonna create a new rule. In the outcomes here, you have now the options to define clusters, you can set parents, you can set a move opt-out. That basically means the host is created in Checkmk but not moved. You can do an update opt-out, that means the host is created but never updated after that. You can, the syncer automatically set a prefix to every label you send to Checkmk with the host. Then you can say update only labels which has a prefix or this prefix. Or you can even go the other way around and say, no, I don't update prefixed labels, so you can build white and black lists basically about that, what you want to update. And that's still not all. There are little details. For example, if you go to conditions field, the style is a bit more usable now. The same if I go for accounts and see an account with some more options like this one, then you have a nice table diagram here. This was all a bit ugly before. And what is heavily improved is the log. So basically for every event or every plugin that runs, a log entry is created, and depending on the plugin, you have one or more details. A log entry can also state that it is an error. So there is a plugin in development which you can add to Checkmk, which checks in the syncer if there are any errors. This works with a REST API, so it doesn't matter where the sync is running. Or if you import objects, let's see like that. You have now a log if some attributes change. You can then see exactly what has changed at which time. And in the log, you can even enable, this is a config switch, the detailed Checkmk log. So for every change on a host, you're gonna get a log entry here which says what has changed at this host. Then, of course, a lot little details have changed. The menu structure, more clear, better description. If you are in the rules, you can now easily clone rules. The file manager, for example, enables you to upload files which you can then automatically import. And also a new feature is the object store. You can import any kind of object and then use it in the rules. Before that, everything had to be in host. But the problem is not all the data you want to export. Only difference between hosts and objects is that objects will not be exported like hosts get exported. They're just a space for collection of attributes which you can use for whatever, create groups, configure your rules, whatever you need. Okay, that's about it. The last thing I want to point out is the documentation. It's getting better and better. The tool still is completely free. You can find it on GitHub. So that's it for now. Links for downloading or to the documentation you can find in the description. For support and support contracts, of course, you can still contact us, the Kuhn & Risk GmbH. The link to our homepage you will also find in the description. Thanks a lot and see you next time.